Welcome, friends, to another Goblin Man 7 video. So this video, I want to talk about a chess variant that I just kind of thought up, invented, called explosive chess. That's what I've called this. And you'll see why I call it explosive chess, because basically this game is about determining the random starting position of all the pieces, and the king as well, using RPG dice. So one of them is an 8-sider and a 4-sided dice. So with this combination, you can determine the starting position. So the first thing you want to do is there's a couple of rules before I start to figure out where these pieces go. First thing is the king can't end up on the corners to start. He has to end up from here to here. So anywhere in there on the back rank would be good. And of course, wherever the king goes, three pawn guards have to be centered directly in front of him. So that's the other rule. Another rule is the bishops have to be on alternate colored squares, like in chess, because if you had two bishops on one color, that's nowhere near as useful as having a bishop patrolling each color so that they can hit all the squares at some point. So we're going to start with black and set up black first. So for the king, we only need the 8-sided dice. So we'll roll that, and I'll show you how this is done. So a 3 comes up, count 3 across, the king goes there. And his 3 pawn guards, go just directly in front of him, like that. So that's where the black king is going to start the game. And now when we get into the pieces, we go down from queen down to knight. And so I'll show you how to set those up now, using both dice this time. So 1 and a 6 is what came up. So what we do is we take our queen, 1 up and 6 across, or 5, 6. I'm looking through a camera, so my field of view is distorted. Okay, so that's where the queen is going to start. Now we go to the rook, the first rook. 1, 1. So that's pretty easy, which would be right there in the corner. Now we do the other rook. 2 up and 3 across. So is that possible? No, it's not, because there's a pawn presently there. So we have to, if that ever happens, there's a piece already there, just re-roll. 2 up and 4 across. That also won't work because, because that pawn is there. I think the queen was there. Anyway, hope it was there. I think it was there. It did fall over. Okay, so 1, 8 across. So of course 8 would be way over here at the other corner. So just by coincidence, the rooks end up at the corners anyway. It's funny. Now we're on to the bishops. 1 up and 3 across. That's not going to work because the king is there. A lot of these coming up. 2 up and 6 across. So 3, 4, 5, 6. So it'd end up right in front of the queen. So now for the next bishop, it has to end up on a white square. Otherwise we re-roll until that happens. So 1 up and 5 across. And that's a black square. So we gotta re-roll for our bishop. 2 up and 1. So 2 up, 1, that is okay because it's a white square, as the other is on the black square. So that works out. Now we're on to our first knight. A 3, 8 is rolled. So 3, 8's way over to the other side, which is here. And lastly, the final knight. 3, 3, so that should work okay. That would put him right there. So, by using these dice, we've randomly determined black's starting position to start the game for them. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just set this down for a sec, and I'm going to readjust the table, and we'll do white. Just get these off the board. Alright. First thing I want to do is figure out where the king's going to go. Whoops. And pieces are falling everywhere, so give me a second here. Alrighty, where's that king? We don't need a four-sider for now. 2, so 2 should work as long as it's not 1 or 8. For kingy, of course. And put his guards in front of him. So that's where you can see the white king and the black king aren't even close to being face to face, mirroring each other like in chess. So it should create for an interesting game. So now, of course, we'll start with white's queen. 3 and 1. So 3 up and 1 is right there. So that's where white's queen is going to begin. Now onto the rook. 2, row 2, and 1. Okay. Let's row 2. Well, that doesn't work because there's a pawn there, so we re-roll that. 2 and 8. That works fine. Which puts him right here. So that's the first rook. We'll do the other rook. Looks like 4 and 5 across. So 4 up. 3, 4, 5. Yes, right there. That's where that rook is going to go. Now we'll do the other one. So 3 up and 1. The queen is there. So we have to re-roll. For the other rook, it's 1, 1. That would work. So he'd end up right there. Not the most advantageous part for the rook because he's in the corner. And in this variant, there is no such thing as castling. But I guess with a few moves from the king and pawns, or just from the pawn on a2, white could somehow free this rook. Now we're on to bishops. First bishop here. So 1 up and 8 across. That should be open. Which puts that on a white square. So now this other bishop, of course, just like black, it's got to be on the alternate color square. And that works out because we rolled a 1, 7. So that's 1 up, 7 over. Which puts him right beside his counterpart bishop. Now on to the first knight. 4 up and 6 across. Okay. So 4 up. And that puts him 6 right beside the rook. And our last knight. Looks like 4 up. Just give me a second here. Okay, 4 up and 3 across. No. 4 up and 5 across, sorry. And the rook is there. So that has to be re-rolled. There's already a piece there, so 3 and 3. That works. That puts him right at that square. So, let's get these dice out of the way. So now we are all set to go. And this happens to be the starting position of this particular game. I've played around with this, and every time, of course, it's always been a different starting setup. That's the really fun and unique thing about this chess variant, is that you're never ever going to get the same setup twice. It's very, very creative, and I think it's fun and it has a lot of potential. Because right off the bat, I mean, I called it explosive chess because right off the bat, the game just explodes into a number of possible combinations, and it can really go in a whole bunch of directions. Like already for white, actually, just the chance of it, he can place check by moving his queen on a3 to, what's that square, e7, which puts the black king in check. Now his only move is to retreat to the square g8. Now, of course, it wouldn't be checkmate. He's got some options, but white already has a huge attack. So, yeah, I mean, it's a really fun, interesting game. It's a lot different than Fisher Random. Fisher Random, you know, there are a fixed number of possible starting combinations because you're only dealing with the pieces on the back row. But with this, you're dealing with not only the back row, but the first 4 rows of the home color. So there's so many possibilities, and I really think that I'll be showing this to a lot of people and trying to get some interest in this chess variant as I go. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and your first look into my chess variant, which I've called explosive chess. I was going to call it chaos chess or chaotic chess, but that particular term has been taken already, so I couldn't use that. But I thought explosive chess is even better than that because it really does the whole position, like you see here, for both black and white. There's so many attacking options and just room for a really fun game, and a game with a lot of explosive and creative potential in chess. And this is exactly what I was going for when I was thinking about variants. I hope you've enjoyed this video and this first look. So if you get the urge to play it, I would strongly recommend it. It's very fun. I've tested it with a few people. I hope to maybe try it out online, maybe get some sort of feedback from some amateur players that I know in club levels. So thanks very much for watching. This has been a Goblin Man 7 production. See you again soon. Bye-bye.